Start recording in 3, 2, 1, go. Hello everybody, this is Mateo. We are still in the Unknown Palace, the final dungeon of the game. And this room looks very, very familiar with all its doorways and whatnot. I believe I called this place the Hall of Doors. Maybe. Or maybe that's something else I'm remembering. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to call it the Hall of Doors now. So, yeah, just like the previous dungeon, we have like 4 or 5 different doors to go through. They all lead to different treasure. Most likely, the treasure is guarded by boss monsters that we have to fight both to get the treasure as well as complete our Bestiary, which, again, still going for. Here we get a ribbon that blocks all status ailments. It's a headband equipment. And here we were ambushed, unfortunately, by the Steel Giant. So probably very high defense, weak to thunder. High attacking power, as we saw, did 2300 to Rickard. Also uses Curse, which is lucky because that's not going to do anything. So there you go. This is basically the fight in a nutshell. It's going to take a little bit to beat him up. Stuff to talk about. Failing. Yeah, it's just more of the same. In hindsight, probably could have taught Joseph and Rickard the basic elemental spells and maybe Flare. Those might have worked better than their physical attacks in situations like this. But you know, whatever. I think that was slow on Rickard. So now he's going to get in less attack hits and do even less damage, but let's be honest, he wasn't doing that much to begin with. If Minwoo doesn't have anything better, you can cast Ultima with him. Excuse me. So basically, if he doesn't have to cure anybody, he can use Ultima. You might want to consider Protect, just to block most of the damage that he's going to do to you. Or he could cast Flare on Rickard and have me not care at all. Look at me not caring. Actually, that was like the first spell that an enemy used that actually did damage. That's impressive. Good job, Steel Giant. You're still getting ultima'd. So he's taking about 1,000 damage per turn. Honestly, if the wound is light enough, have Joseph and Rickard use a high potion or a potion. Well, not a potion, preferably a high potion. Although I think at this point, I personally am out of them. Another thing in hindsight is that I should have used the potions first because they're useless in battle, but still useful in the field, whereas high potions are useful in battle and still useful in the field. So, hindsight 2020. Too bad this was recorded months ago. Okay, so taking about 500 from that Ultima, Joseph actually does some damage. Holy crap. And now Rickard is both cursed and slowed, so goodbye Rickard's damage output. You're not doing anything this fight, buddy. 1,100 from that Thunder, though, and it's only level 4. That's nice. Oh, and it leveled up to 5 now. People are getting a ton of stat gains, which is nice. And we have a ribbon, so we can block somebody from all of the different status ailments. The question is, who will it be? It's going to be Minwoo, because I'm pretty sure he has a spell that'll heal status ailments. So if we get hit by, like, a confused spell that hits everybody, Minwoo will automatically block it, and then he can just use whatever spell it's called to heal it off of other people. So there's that. Alternatively, Rickard is another good option to put it on, so he doesn't get confused and start beating the crap out of everybody. Scott's also another good option. Basically anybody but Joseph. In case you couldn't tell, I'm not the biggest fan of Joseph. He's kind of weak in this post-game. That was a Dark Soul, very weak enemy, unlike the actual game. Don't even bother. Here's a Chaos Rider, which we did fight before, but when I edited this, I forgot that we had fought it before, so I'm showing it again. But luckily this time I know really high defense, just use spells on it, so this won't take as long. Apparently it also has the gaze spell. The question is it the horse that gazes at you, or the knight itself? Because it looks like it was coming out of the horse's face. Either way, Flare, Ultima, physical attacks. That's basically how all of these battles have been going. Scott's really the only variable character. For him, it's either flare or physical attack. But everybody else does pretty much the same thing always. So, like I said, the beginning of this post-game dungeon, or whatever you want to call it, the beginning is the hardest part, both because you're really weak and you only have a couple party members instead of all of them. In the later parts, stuff becomes a lot easier. So in that battle, we got Dragon Armor, which is very, very good. It'll raise defense quite a bit, as well as resist fire, ice, and lightning attacks, which is pretty helpful. I don't think that affects flare, though, so there's that. But honestly, very few enemies use flare. Then again, very few enemies also use elemental spells, and they aren't really that bad anyways. The main draw of the Dragon Armor is the defensive power it has. Now here we have the Malboro Menace, a total of 6 of them. So this isn't going to go all too well. Luckily, they take damage not that well, so a hit or two and they should be done. Basically a spell and a physical hit, as you saw with that first one. And then here we have an Ultima. How much will this do? I want to say that this is like level 8 or level 9 now. I mean, it just showed on the screen, but I was not paying attention. Big surprise. So just go ahead and spam everything again, kill everybody, we'll eventually get there. Not too bad physical attack, kind of low compared to other things, but when there's a group of 6 of them, it'll add up, so that's something to watch out for. Okay, this one's going to die right now. I should probably have Scott and Rickard target 2 different ones, because they're both doing most of the damage, and then have Minwoo and Joseph finish off the 2 that they attack. If I were actually being strategic about these battles instead of just spamming everything that I have. But again, recorded this months ago, hindsight 2020, not gonna go well. Stuff like that, I don't know. Okay, people are just getting punched to heck, and okay, so they do not have the Bad Breath spell. However, their physical attack has a chance of basically doing what Bad Breath does. Minwoo is now mini, asleep, paralyzed, confused, and I want to say that's all of them. Now, he might as well be dead, because he's asleep and paralyzed, 2 different ways that he can't move. He's mini, so he's not going to do much damage at all, and he's confused, so he'll attack his own party members. What's lucky, though, is that since he's mini, the confused damage against his party members will do almost nothing, let alone it's also Minwoo, so that'll make it even less. Now if it hit Rickard, it still wouldn't be a big deal because he's minied, so the confused damage won't do a whole lot. Okay, after healing everybody up, we have a Wyvern Lance for Rickard, of course, and a Black Dragon was somehow hiding inside that treasure box. Sure. So, as you saw, quite a bit of a physical attack there. I forget who it hit, though. Usual Ultima Flare. We're gonna go ahead and equip the Wyvern Lance on him right now. Instilled with the Spirit of the Wyvern. I feel like Satan. That was 666 damage, yep. Anyways, I feel like it should have gone in his left hand because I'm pretty sure that's his better hand. But it honestly shouldn't have too much of an effect. Here we have Flare level 11 now. It seems to be going a little bit faster maybe, and also deals almost 1,000 damage. That's not bad at all. And Ultima is still level 8, so it'll deal like 500 maybe. So that's 1,500 plus however much Rickard did. I want to say it was like 700, so that's 2,200 damage per turn. Not too bad. Yeah, 2,100 actually with that Ultima. That is a lot less damage. So I don't know what's up. Okay, still doing a ton of damage to Joseph, but honestly, not too big of a deal. He hit Scott the first time. His physical attack can also do Venom, apparently. And I want to say he has access to some spread magic attack, but honestly that isn't a big deal at all because as we've seen, the spread magic attacks especially don't do much damage at all. So, not a big deal in the slightest. But at least with this place we have interesting fights against boss creatures, instead of just the regular, like, whatever. Like, these guys are actually kind of tough. Granted, the enemies in here can be tough, and if I were still going through this dungeon in the way I was at the very beginning of it, we'd be basically dying at this point. But yeah, they're still kind of tough, which is nice. Okay, so now we have a little bit of healing up to do. We got that poison. Some people are hurting a little bit. It looks like I'm out of potions as well now, so now we're starting to use Minwu's Cure spell, and then using the Ethers to heal up his MP whenever he needs it. So there's that. We shouldn't have to go through all of the Ethers. We should be okay. Okay, so I think in that battle I got a power armlet off of one of the enemies, so we're gonna go ahead and give that to Joseph to raise his defense and his physical attack a little bit. Starting to use up Ethers now. I think we used like 10 right there, because Minwu ran out. That's one thing that you want to make sure you keep track of. You do not want Minwu to run out of MP, because he's basically useless if he does. And that's why I'd say use the potions and high potions first, save the Ethers for later when you run out of those and need them. Okay, so here we have this room again, but this time, because of the previous dungeon, I know there's something hidden behind this wall. I mean, it does look suspicious, so we can go ahead, go through, and find this treasure chest, which holds... drumroll, Wild Rose, and a monster in a box. Lucifer, even. It's a recoloration of Astaroth. Basically, same old, same old. Go ahead... Ultima Flare. Wild Rose is apparently a sword for Scott, so hopefully it's good, but we're going to go ahead and cast Flare against this guy because I don't know how good it would be against him. So Flare level 11, Ultima level 8, Rickard and Joseph physical attack. And really it's just keeping track of the damage. Whoa! Joseph, calm down. 3 damage? Man, we're going to kill this guy in no time now. I mean, at least he actually did some damage, unlike usual against these boss monsters, but still, that is a pathetically low amount of damage. So's Rickard's in this fight, honestly. That's kind of weird. Okay, Fire 16, and it's focused on only Minwu. This might actually hurt a little bit. Not really, no. Only 123, not bad at all. I mean, Minwu can survive like 20 of those and be okay. Slightly less, actually, like 15 maybe? I don't know. I don't want to do words. I don't want to do the math. I'm on summer vacation, although it's almost over. So there's that. Okay, just go ahead and keep beating him up. We're about to beat up Satan, basically. Although it looks like this is before he became Satan. That was actually... that killed Minwu in one hit. I take back making fun of you earlier. Now Minwu's dead. That's great. So we just lost like 500 damage. We're just gonna have Joseph use a Phoenix down because he's not doing any damage anyways. So that seems like the best option. Hopefully he doesn't just immediately kill Minwu again though. Alright, Blind on Rickard. That is exactly who I wanted you to use Blind on. Certainly anybody else honestly would have been a better option for me because Joseph isn't doing damage anyways and Scott and Minwu are using magic attacks. So they wouldn't be affected by the blind status. Oh my goodness. 3,800 to Rickard. And what's more annoying is that he healed himself with that, so we've got to go through like 2 more turns just because he healed himself. Why did I use a second Phoenix down? I think I was spamming A too much. Oh well. We have Ultima level 9, I guess. I didn't notice it leveled up, but oh well. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Everything has become a bit of a haze. I don't remember anything. Okay. So same old really. Honestly, I'm kind of going into a little bit of a not paying attention state because this is all the same thing over and over again. Scourge. This is interesting. This is a poison attack. It's basically the poison elemental spell, has a chance of poisoning and does damage. It's basically Bio before Bio existed. So there's that. We're getting more damage on him. I think we finally got past the amount that he healed off of Rickard. And he's not really doing much damage past that. I mean, he should just physical attack all the time and we'd be really hurting here, but he's wasting his time with all these spells. Okay, that elixir is going to fully heal up Minwoo and get back most of his MP, so that's a pretty good elixir to use. And we actually used an elixir. Holy crap, this is something new. Never before experienced. There we go, blinding somebody who doesn't care. And it misses too, isn't that just great? Oh well, Minwoo doesn't get some rocking shades, I guess. Actually, he doesn't get to think about shades. Whoa! Joseph, hold the phone. No, seriously, pick it up, hold it. 5 damage. Lucifer is quaking in words his boots. He's not even wearing boots. You knocked him off, Joseph. That's how hard you hit him. You knocked off his boots. Anyways, that aside, let's please kill him sometime this century. We've been spending a good part of this video on this fight. Maybe? Nope, not quite. Will this 95 and 66 do it? It will! Alright, good. So we got some stat gains, and we got the Wild Rose sword for Scott, which will be very, very helpful. Basically does more damage and that's it. Yeah, he is wearing the golden